Yo guys, it's Ghost here. We're going to be talking about the differences between H1Z1 and PlayerUnknown Battleground. So both these games in a way are pretty much the same. The only thing the same about these games are that they both end the same way. They both come out winning with one person or one team. So the whole main goal of both of these games is to be the last team or person surviving. You guys drop down in parachutes and go searching around, scattered around the map, looking to find weapons and gear to win the game. Both games have cars and all the loot's about the same. Like, there's different guns and stuff though, but the way the guns shoot are different, everything's different, and I'm gonna be comparing what's better about each game and what the other game should do better on. But honestly, both games are good in their own ways. H1Z1's like an easier game to pick up on. Battlegrounds just has a lot more things that you have to do. There's like so many different ways to gain your health back up when you're low on health. You don't bleed out. H1Z1, you start bleeding out if you get shot, so you have to bandage up and stuff. But now we're gonna start getting into the good stuff about each game. Okay, to start off with H1Z1, the better stuff about that game, in H1Z1, there's hit markers that give you a better idea on what you hit. There's white hit markers for when you hit a car. There's like yellow and red hit markers when you hit a person. The yellow hit markers are more towards breaking like a helmet or armor vest. Also in H1Z1, I also think it would be easier to parachute because all you have to do is go straight down and move left and right. In Battlegrounds, you can't really move horizontally. All you can really do is go straight down or forwards. In H1Z1, it's easier to go towards your target. Also, when you're about to drop in Battlegrounds, you slow down, so you can't really angle yourself towards the end either. In H1Z1, there's less lag because the game has been optimized already. Battlegrounds is still in the early processes of the game being made, so there's less lag in H1. Like, the frames don't drop as much in H1Z1. They still do drop because the game's still in its beta also, which I don't know why it's still in its beta. It's been out for like 2.5 years. And Battlegrounds is still in its alpha stage, so the game is supposed to be coming out in like 6 months, so within that time period, the game is going to be optimized better. In H1Z1, you get spawned at a certain spot in the map, so that's when you drop straight down with a parachute. But in Battlegrounds, you get to choose where you drop down. In H1Z1, there's more unlucky spawns. So what happens is when you get spawned into the map, you don't spawn into like a plane or whatever like you would in Battlegrounds. In Battlegrounds, you pretty much get to choose where you want to drop within the line where the plane's going. The plane goes in a straight line. You drop down any part of the map. So every person sits in one plane and you guys all go wherever the line of the plane is going. You get to drop wherever you want. In H1Z1, your team or yourself drops in one random spot that they choose for you in the map. And then you have to find loot fast, get in a car, or run and get into the safe zone. In Battlegrounds, the starting safe zone is larger. In Battlegrounds, the shooting is like way more accurate. So what happens is if you click your mouse, you get to aim down your scope in first person, so you can aim way easier. And if you hold your mouse down, you get to aim in third person. In H1Z1, if you want to go in first person to shoot your gun, which I do not prefer, you have to press the key that you have for first person, get into that first, and then shoot in first person. But the first person aiming isn't as good because they don't have scopes in that game that you get to choose to put on your gun. But in Battlegrounds, you have red dot scopes, holograph scopes, and then they have 2 through 15 times scopes, which makes you look farther by the times it goes up. The first person of Battlegrounds is just by itself way better than H1. In Battlegrounds, they also have weather change, so either you spawn in the game with it nice and clear, or you go in where it's downpouring, raining, and thundery. Also in Battlegrounds, the cars are more realistic, so if you flip your car, you can't get out of the car and flip it back. And also, while your car is moving, you can't jump out of the car and go shoot around like you would in H1Z1. You have to have your car to complete stop, or if you don't, then you die. You get run over by the car. In H1Z1, you just jump out of your car and you can go whatever, and it'll just keep driving away from you by itself. And in Battlegrounds, that would prevent car chases and all that stuff from happening because you can't jump out of your car and start shooting right away. You'd have to get a stop. So it just makes it way more fair for everyone to play. Honestly, in Battlegrounds, it's better off to play without a car. Unless you're very far away from the safe zone, you need to get there really fast. And also in Battlegrounds, there's boats. So there's actual water that you can swim in and do all that stuff. So the boats just make you go all the outside of the map or the river going through the middle. And swimming, you don't just swim off the top of the water. You can go underwater too and hide while you're swimming so they can't shoot at you. In Battlegrounds, you can't kill someone while they're underwater. The bullets just don't hit them while you're underwater. The graphics in Battlegrounds are way better because they're run off the Unreal Engine, which is probably one of the best engines that you can have a game run off of. But like I said before, with the optimization, the game would have to be run on lower settings because the game, if you have it on max settings, the only way you'd be able to run it without your frame dropping is if you have an insane computer, which I don't even know if people actually run it in high settings anyway. If you run it at low settings, you have a less chance of your frames dropping, and that game and H1Z1 are more competitive games, so you don't really need the settings that high up. It'd be better having it low because you get screwed over if your frames drop during a middle of a gunfight. In Battlegrounds, there's way more weapon choices. There's like semi-automatic sniper rifles. There is different versions of assault rifles. It's not just the AK-47 where it sprays the whole time. You get to choose if it goes single fire, burst fire, or automatic. And that's more for like the M16 and the M4. And with that same ammo, you get to choose if you want the Scar H also. And all three of those guns, I'm pretty sure you can put into burst, single shot, or auto. And then you have the choice of the AK-47 that goes into single fire or auto. And then all of those guns, you can put any type of scope that you want on those. And then you also have shotguns, which you have a double barrel, and a shotgun that's like a cockback, which is like the trench gun. Then you have sniper rifles. You have a bolt action that's pretty much the op from Counter-Strike. And then you have the Kar 98, which was in like Call of Duty World at War and just any old World War game like that. It's a bolt action. This is way more sniper choices, and you get way better of a chance to get one. In H1Z1, there's a sniper that drops inside of a crate, and that's the only way you can get it. But there's so much more gun choices, and whatever gun you're better with, you can choose, and it's easier to find. Also, the loot's like way harder to find in Battleground. It's not like you get 500 ammo for each gun right away. I mean, you have to go around the map to find it. In Battlegrounds, is way more action because the gas gets stronger and it kills you faster and it comes in faster by the amount of players that are left in the game, and the closer to the end of the game it gets. So you really want to stay inside the safe zone or you're screwed. There's a lot more foliage in the game, which makes you be able to sit inside bushes, which you are like invisible from a distance. Yeah, so those bushes, you can hide inside them. You can be in the middle of a field, sit inside a bush, and no one will see you until they're really up close. And there's a lot of those. It's not just like little bits scattered around the map. It's everywhere. In Battlegrounds also, there's a lot less hackers in Battleground because the game's still new, so there's no one's really figuring out how they can hack the game, which I really hope no one ends up finding out how to hack the game, because right now the game is perfectly fine how it is. I really hope no one joins the game hacking. In H1Z1, you'll find at least a hacker a game. If you're lucky, there's not going to be. And in Battlegrounds, you don't start off games with like 10 people left in the game. You get a full lobby most of the time. And there's a mini map in the game too. And in the bottom right corner, there's a mini map where you can see where your teammates are and where you are and what direction they're all looking in. And you can set waypoints where you guys want to go. In Battlegrounds, guys, every week there's an update, and every month is like a really big update that changes a lot in the game. H1Z1, there's like no updates at all. If they do like weird bug fixes, or they add stuff. And really in H1, when you get a bug fix, they still have more bugs that they don't fix, and it takes another like month for them to fix that. Honestly, I have no clue when H1Z1's getting out of beta. It's been in beta for 2.5 years. It's crazy, guys. The creators of Battlegrounds are saying that the game's gonna be finished within the next 6 months, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, guys, I guess that's really it between the comparison, and I guess you guys get to choose now which game you like better and which one's better to spend your money on. H1Z1 is $20 and Battlegrounds is $30. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, drop a like, subscribe, and share the video. It's been Ghost. Peace out, guys.